perpetrator, and the perpetrator is now the victim. And that just drives me crazy.
Hey all, good afternoon. You have tuned in to 30 Frames a Second. Yes, that's where you are. I'm Veronica Kitt, your host for today. This is Women's Takeover. We do it every so often. We haven't been here in a while, but we're back. Taking over 30 Frames a Second. Nat is in the back there somewhere. But it's my pleasure to be here, of course, as always, on this great show, which allow us to express and talk about things that are important to us as women. And today we have a very, very dynamic, powerful group of women, I may say. And I will like introduce them. And we have Sheila Berry, the Gospel Showcase, 25 years strong.
I'm sorry, 30.
And counting. 30 years strong and counting. And I tell you, she's everywhere. You'll get to see a lot of it. Well, tell them, Sheila, just briefly, just tell them the Gospel Showcase.
Well, we actually started in Manhattan in 1980. In 1983, we went to the Baptist House of Prayer, and we became the Gospel Showcase of the Baptist House of Prayer. And we have other churches affiliated with us, such as Bronx Community Baptist Church, Seven Light Baptist Church. Our committee is a group of people from various churches out of LaGree Baptist Church, which I grew up at, and St. Matthew's Baptist Church, and we have some people even, I can't think offhand, but they are from out of the Church of God in Christ, and we do everything pertaining to gospel and health, whatever's going on in the religious community, we do our best to cover, along with Veronica Kitt.
Yes, yes, and you can find them anywhere. Actually, this weekend we were at the Bronx Community Baptist Church, which was amazing. Pastor David Jenkins, I love him. He is like so animated, but yet powerful. His message is so powerful. So I appreciate that. I appreciate everything you do, and I'm glad that I'm a part of that. And then our other co-host for today is Yolanda Felder, motivational speaker, and you know, we're just so proud to have you here. Join us to be a part of this panel and group, and just briefly tell us about what it is that you do.
Well, thank you, Veronica. Hello, Sheila. I am a motivational speaker. I am a radio host on Blog Talk Radio. My goal and my mission is just to empower people within earshot of my voice. That's what it is. That's my God gift, and I'm here to just open blind eyes and pull people out of bondage.
That is so great. Excellent, excellent. And then we also have Miss Dietrice Bolden, Dietrice A. Bolden, and that is our guest for today. And it is so great I'm reading your bio. This is 2 pages. I mean, and then I'm sure there's more, because I was on the phone with Sheila for a couple of hours last night, and we were talking about you. You are an amazing, accomplished woman, and we really thank you for being here.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yes, and briefly, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and we're going to go into more detail, but I know you are a part of Impact Repertory Theater,
yes.
And they were nominated for an Oscar.
Yes, I am a part of Impact Repertory Theater. I'm actually the managing director now. I started out with Impact in the beginning in 1997 when it was just Menacing Arts Academy, and I went away to school and I came back. My degree is in legal studies, and I have a love for children and a love for the arts, so that's what brought me back home.
Wow. And so I understand you are, and we're going to get right into it because there's so much to talk about. But as I was reading, you said by age 13 you developed this sweet, soulful soprano voice. I'm saying prodigy because as I was speaking with Sheila, she was telling me that you just kind of like had that even prior to that. It was just that I think this is when you wrote it on paper.
Right, well, I mean, that's I remember being much younger in church and singing. Again, my adoptive uncle, George Canton Jr., he put a microphone in my hand. I believe I was 5, 6 years old, and I remember singing, "Yes, Jesus Loves Me."
Wow.
So I do remember something at that age.
Right.
And other things, all the stories, I was told I was wonderful, and I bless God for those stories.
Yes.
Because He is awesome, and He's the reason why that I have the gifts that I have.
And at what point did you realize that this is what I want to do with regards to singing?
With regards to singing, I had a love for it and a yearning for it, but I was so focused on being a lawyer.
Yes,
And going to school for law. So I just let singing be my hobby. But, you know, God says, tell him your plan, and he will tell you something different. So it was in God's plan for me to go on and be in theater and work with young people in theater and to teach them that you can be the message that you bring and use the arts for change.
Yes. And you know, I'm so impressed with law because I thought I was going to be a lawyer too one day, But anyway, but you know what? I want us to just kind of like just digress and just go off of the topic for a moment. And then maybe we can even talk about some legal issues regarding that. Just this past weekend, it was last week, young woman, 25 years old. I don't know if you heard of. She was in the Bronx. She had 5 children, and her home caught on fire. She was burning a candle because her Con Edison bill was cut off. She got out with 2 of her children. 3 of her children died in the fire. There was a woman outside, and she said that she heard the children's voices, and they were screaming, "Help me, help me." She tried to get in to help, and she was taken back. And it just haunted me all weekend. And my prayers go out to the family, and it's just been heavy on my heart for so long. But someone is responsible for that. When we're talking about Con Edison, and I know they have certain rules in which you qualify for certain protections so that your light won't be shut off. Underage children, I'm sure, they said 18 and under, but if you have a medical issue, if you're a senior of 62 and above, what happened to this young woman and who's responsible for that? This woman lost 3 of her children because she couldn't pay her light bill. There has to be something in it that says children under age, maybe 3 years or younger, you can't turn those lights off. I don't care if she was $1 million.
That's right. Yeah, and you know what? Probably being a single parent, maybe she didn't know about programs that they have, you know, because like you said, someone in the household who's sick, if you're elderly, not only Con Ed, but I know that Con Ed would direct you to organizations, but maybe she didn't know of these organizations, you know, because it's terrible.
That's also where media comes into play, because they're very quick to put just stupidity on TV, but they're never advertising, this is where you can go to get help if this is going on. Or, you know, people even walking around in the neighborhood, people are walking around trying to sell phones and stuff, but no one is saying, do you have health insurance? Do you need, you know, Con Edison, here's a program that can help. So it has a lot to do with the media, radio, all of that.
Information. It's information, and you know what? That's why it's so important as women and the community in total to surround yourself with people who are knowledgeable. You know, it's okay to have those friends that you've known for years, but you need to surround yourself around people who you can go to, you know, and get information. You know, because that's terrible. And her case is not the only case. There are so many people out here, and you're going to hear about more and more fires. And I know for me, I hear fires on the media like every morning, especially in New Jersey. I don't know what it is about New Jersey, but there's always a fire, and in the Bronx. And and we're entering,
there was 4 this weekend, and
we're entering the winter months. I mean, you know, a friend of mine, actually my beautician, her landlord, he didn't turn on the heat, and like me, and I'm sure others, we think that the heat goes on the 15th of October. No, it goes on the 1st of October. But see how she didn't know and I didn't know as a homeowner? I mean, I just turn my heat on when I want to, but I'm just saying, you know, as a landlord, you're supposed to turn the heat on by October 1st. You know, so at least she knew enough to call 311 and complain. And then the next day he was out. And she has a baby. Her baby is 4 months old.
Oh, no.
This is what I'm saying. And she had to turn her oven on.
And the fumes for the oven is not good for the baby. You know, a lot of people just don't think.
No.
They just don't think, and I don't understand what is it that's in your heart that is so hard. You know these people have children,
Yes.
and turning on the oven is not good for adults, let alone
Exactly,
kids.
exactly.
So,
Or turn the, and I'm sure a lot of us have done it.
yes,
turn
put a pot of water on the stove, heat up the house.
and heat up the house. You'll heat it up quicker than the heat coming up if it
right.
is going to come up. But it's, you know, and I just had to mention it because as a young, I had my children, very young, teenage mother and everything, so I understand exactly, you know, the challenges that she probably was facing, like, what do I do? And then also there's a level of pride. You know, like, my lights is about to be, and I got these 5 children here.
Yeah.
And you don't want to put that responsibility on others,
Right.
but we, as a society, as a humane society, must put this on and protect those who may not be able to protect themselves, or understand, like you said, understand that there is help out there.
Yeah.
And I
There
just
is.
had to segue with that because our children are so important, and you know
right.
that because you work with these young
That's
people.
right.
What are some of your challenges? Like,
Yes.
you know, even though they're coming to you with their gifts, and this is something that they want to do, but I'm sure that they're coming with some challenges. What
Of course.
you know?
Impact is very much a family. So once we take in a member, we then join their family. So I've had conferences with mothers. My kid doesn't want to do their homework, or they're breaking curfew. I show up at schools. That's what I
Okay.
do.
Yes.
As
Great.
a staff,
That's awesome.
Impact, I'm very blessed with a great staff. It's very small. We're very small staffed. But we take the kids' education and their home life to heart.
Yes.
So we've had young people who haven't had lights, who haven't had heat, who haven't seen their parents. Impact provides free meals every Saturday. Sometimes that's the only meal they get on the weekend. Because, you know, we've had those stories, and that's one reason. Impact is a free program.
Yes.
You know, and we run off of donations and off of grants, which a lot of the funding is being cut. But one thing that we believe in is feeding the young people, making sure the young people have transportation, making sure they're going back and forth to school. So, you know, it becomes challenging sometimes because, of course, you're going to come out of pocket. When you go into
absolutely.
working for young people, you're going to come out of your own pocket sometimes.
Right.
But that is the commitment you made
right.
when you know, take on.
And where
the
are they
role.
located again? They're in,
Well,
you say you started at Minnesink.
We started at Minnesink in Harlem. The young people come from all over. We have young people who travel from Pennsylvania
Wow.
and Connecticut. The young people meet twice a week on Wednesdays at Minnesink, so we're
Right.
home during the week. And then we have been adopted by the Arts Department at Columbia University.
Great.
Where we meet at Prentice Hall on Saturdays.
Yes.
And on Saturdays we meet from 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Wow, that's
And
a
what is the age
full
group?
day.
The ages are from 9 to 18.
Okay.
And it's only dancing, but I know
no.
singing and
It's musical theater
Yeah.
and leadership training. We are a leadership training organization. One of our founders, Professor Jamal Joseph,
Yes.
part of the Panther 21. It's more, you have to teach a person how to be a better person, not just how to become an artist. I always tell the story. I went to the Girls Choir of Harlem. I went to the Choir Academy of Harlem,
Okay.
where I was in the Girls Choir of Harlem, and I was taught by the amazing Lorna Mae Myers how to sing and sing in different languages, read music, and choir made me a better singer.
Wow.
But Impact made me a better person and showed me how to make my art, how to use my art for change. We have coined the phrase artivism, which is being an artist and an activist.
love that, love that,
So
love that
you-
term.
Yes, because, you know, everyone is not going to be a Little Kim, a Nicki Minaj. I love hip-hop, I love rap, but we need to use the arts for social change.
Yes.
And if we
Absolutely.
can gear our young people to use that, there will be less gang violence, you know, all these guns and everything that's happening in the Bronx and Harlem. We've lost a lot of young people to gun violence, and it breaks my heart.
Right.
You
It really
know,
breaks my heart.
earlier I was listening to someone, and the talk show host, and she will remain nameless, but she said that people want to see young artists almost nude, along with their gift. And that bothered me because
It's bothering me right now.
I'm like, okay, well, you know what?
Physically,
Maybe, yeah.
not,
you know,
you know,
like
it's-
very revealing, very sexy. And to me, you can't be operating from your gift.
Yeah.
Because your gift makes room for you. and it brings you before great men. So you don't need to be nude.
That's right.
You don't need to be sultry and you're 10. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just don't see, I mean, maybe that is a market for some genres of music, but if you want to be respected, if you're truly, like you said, social change, if you're about singing and acting and dancing, and your gift is to enlighten others and empower others, why do you need to be nude? It takes away from
That's right.
who you are.
Who you are and what you are.
And make it about sex.
But think
Sexuality,
about,
I should say.
Yeah. But there's a level of show when you think of the pageants. The pageantries, when you have these young people out there that are, I mean, what do we say for that? Because I think that, you know, they're pushing them a little bit ahead of the time. So it has to be responsibility associated with it, and it just, that goes back to that industry and also the parents.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing with Impact. You have to go through a 12 to 16-week program to join Impact called Boot Camp. And once you've gone through that, you earn an Impact t-shirt or numerous shirts.
Wow.
So when you're at Impact, everyone has an Impact shirt. No matter how you dress, you know, you make your shirt, style it the way you want to, match it the way you want to. But as far as the fashion goes, it goes back to the leadership training of it. Who makes these things? You know, why are you wearing it? What is the definition behind it? And that's why you have to not just teach the art, but teach the message behind the art.
Absolutely.
That is so important. And then you are creating leaders of tomorrow. When you think about a nomination for an Oscar, that just was an Oscar? Or was
both.
It? Yeah, both. Right. And so then it's like, how do you get to that point? The whole world was like surprised. Where did these people come from? Who are they? What? How? When?
We were the Cinderella story from Harlem.
Talk about that story,
It was
because
such a blessing. We were asked to be a part of the movie August Rush as the choir, and they wanted us to sing a song. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, or something like that aspect, because the little boy was trying to find his parents through music.
Yes.
And Impact, all of Impact's materials original, the spoken word, the dances, the song. So Jamal said, let us just go and write something for you, and we'll present it. If you like it, we'll use it. And bless God, I remember the day I got the phone call. I was still living at home with my mom. And Jamal called and said, we've been nominated for an Academy Award, and they want us to perform. I said, who's this? And I screamed all through my house. My mother thought something was wrong with me. I said, Mommy, we got nominated. And we were able to take 30 young people to California, and they could say they performed on the Kodak stage. You know, that is such a blessing.
Right.
And it was an
what goes on behind the scene? Not meaning to cut you off, because I heard that they give gift bags and all kind of things.
Yes,
and
they do.
You are just brought into this whole circle. That's
It was culture shock for a lot of the young people. Again, I've been blessed to be around people, my mom, who's also an artist. So I know what goes on, but as soon as you step off the plane, there are cameras, and the young people are like, what's going on? And, you know, some of I call them my little divas. Oh, I need makeup on, and they have on these head ties, and that's why I told you to take off your scarf, because you never know what's going to happen. But the experience, they got gift bags, and they were able to meet a lot of artists, celebrities, and walk the red carpet.
Oh, they walked the red carpet.
Yes, so them and a lot of designers, God bless them, donated clothing to the young people. So, you know, it's hard. Some young people can't afford a gown. Or, you know, clothes like that to go away, to always be on camera. So a lot of designers, Betsy Johnson being one, donated clothes. And
she
so
still does her
she's still flipping. I love her.
I love her clothes.
That's
too.
right.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
So they got a chance to wake up every morning, take showers. Okay, it's time for you to go into makeup. Okay, now it's time for you to get dressed. So that experience, you know, it was just a sweet experience.
And taught them that they can aspire to
anything. Anything. And one of the major touches to my heart, we actually lost one of the young people.
Oh, no.
He passed away. He became very ill, and pneumonia took him. But he was able to have that experience
did.
with impact. And Travis will always be a star in our eyes. So you never know what's going to happen.
Wow. And the experience for you, just in general.
Oh,
just
the
being there.
experience for me, I was, you know, and I'm trying to make sure the young people are okay. And I'm like, okay, but let me enjoy this just a little bit, you know, walk the red carpet myself.
Yes.
Let me talk to somebody. You know, I got a chance to go into makeup and everything, too. It was a blessing. It was
Right.
such a blessing.
Just talk about briefly the mission of the Impact Repertory.
Well, Impact is a not-for-profit organization that caters to young people between the ages of 8, 9, and 18 in leadership training in the arts. Impact is an acronym. It stands for inspiration, motivation, preparation, activism, commitment, and teamwork. Every week, the young people are taught the arts and also have to go through leadership training. They have to have at least 20 hours of community service a month in order to stay active.
Wow.
You have to obtain at least a C average. If your grades drop, you have mandatory tutoring. We have now implemented a great program called Impact Rep College Prep for our juniors and seniors, which is run by an Impact alumni, Jordan Isler, who also grew up in the company. She takes them through filling out financial aid and how to
Excellent.
pick a school. You know, a
Excellent.
lot of the teachers in the school sometimes don't focus on that. You know, so it's all about making the art, the message, and you know, how to change the world in a positive
Right.
way.
I really enjoy
And that's
them.
about
Yeah.
community. You know, growing up, we know that community plays an important part in our life. And, you know, a lot of that has been stripped away in the past few years. And it's just amazing to know that, you know, there's still programs out here
Yes.
that care.
Yes.
That it's not just can you afford to attend here
Right.
and the CEO of X, Y, and Z child goes here. No, it's about, you know what, honing in on those children gifts, you know, and then like, yes, we all have weaknesses, but you manage those weaknesses.
That's right.
And it's so important to have programs like yours. That's amazing. So, I mean, how did you get started? I mean, like,
Well, with Impact, again,
no, not with impact. Like just knowing that this is your calling. Because do you need a degree? Do you need to know someone? How did you get there?
my mentor again, Jamal Joseph, he's mentored me since I was 15 years old.
Really?
And he's one of the founders of the organization. And again, my degree is in legal studies, and I was going to be a lawyer, but I went to work at some, you know, law firms. I was paralegal, and it just didn't fit.
You didn't like
I
it?
didn't
Exactly.
like it.
Wow.
So
There you
then
go.
I was fortunate to get a job somewhere else where I was working with young people, and it was going pretty well. I love young people, again with homework help and stuff. But then I was missing that aspect of the arts,
The creative side.
side of it all. And Impact is a free program, so a lot of the work that we do is done out of love. No one is really paid, you know, what they are owed. We are independent artists, so we make money elsewhere as
Right.
well, because we want to give as much to the kids as we can.
Right.
But the blessing of the Oscar and a little bit more money came around, and I was able to go to Impact a little bit more, and God blessed me with some other opportunities to help my bank account.
Right.
So I was able to give even more time to Impact, and I let go of the other position that I had.
Because you perform
Yes.
pretty much everywhere with so many people as well. Yeah, talk about that. Who are some of the people that you perform with, and who are some of the people, and the other part of the question is, did you take those connections to the children and bring the children to perform with them? Like, was it, yeah.
Well, a lot of my connections come through Impact.
Oh,
First, yes.
okay.
But
Patti LaBelle.
that
and-
was through Impact.
Wow.
All of that was through Impact. Jamal is a very well-known person, Black Panther author. So a lot of people reach out to him, and they know a lot about the company. Also, Vosa Rivers,
Yes,
who
yes,
is
yeah.
in charge of New Heritage
Yes,
Theater
and
Group.
Daryl Downey, I
And
love
Daryl-
him.
Yes.
Daryl is
Yes,
amazing.
Desire, I love him. So a lot of those connections did come through Impact, but over the summer I was in a run of a off-Broadway show called Souls on Fire, where I got to share the stage with the amazing Shirley Murdoch. And I learned so much from her. And that show actually is going on tour next spring.
Oh, you're going?
Yes, I'm going on tour.
Great.
And this is actually a show I was able to see develop years ago. The director, Tyrone Stanley, he wrote the book and the music. I stood on the National Black Theater stage with him as we were just reading the script. And to see it go on off-Broadway and the full production of it all is such a blessing. I'm a part of Compagnia dei Colombari, which is an Italian theater company. And I had the privilege to go to Italy with them.
Really?
Where we perform a show, Strangers and Other Angels, which is based on the Magnificat. And I play Mary, the mother of Jesus. Yes.
Wow.
And it's very multicultural. So
Yeah, because I was just getting ready to say, a lot of times people do not embrace the black.
yes, it's very multicultural. Not only am I African American, but I go into my Caribbean roots because my script is written in what they say pidgin English. So it has a West Indian dialect and it's very broken up. So we incorporate that. So I speak in that. I sing in Italian. And
Okay, so you're from originally where? You said
New York.
Oh, but you said that you're
Yeah, I
Caribbean.
have Caribbean roots from Barbados.
Oh, okay. So
My
you're able
father
to switch it on and
yes,
off.
switch it on and off. And
Great.
it's been a blessing.
Yeah, yeah.
Even that has been a blessing. God is using everything.
How many languages do you speak, Candy?
Well, I speak very smallly and sing in Italian, French, Swahili, Sasutu,
Okay.
Spanish, Portuguese,
English? No.
English. And that's all due to Choir Academy.
Choir Academy.
Lorna Mae Myers.
Yes, that is amazing. But see, I got to ask this question because I was with Sheila at they had the Greater Baptist Church. They had an event, and she was singing, and it was amazing.
With your mom, the reflections.
Oh,
Yeah. But my question is, can anyone sing? Because I think I can hold a note.
Oh, yes.
Can anyone sing?
Anyone can sing that want to sing.
That's right.
It's not you that sing. If you let the Spirit
That's right.
sing through you. When you get into self, yes, people are born with gifts to sing, but there's a difference when you sing from the Spirit.
That's right.
You can touch somebody's life. You can help someone get saved. You can help someone feel better about themselves if you're having a bad day and someone sing the right song. And through the Spirit, because people now, they said we get, the generations are weaker but wiser. You can tell something if there's no Spirit in it.
That's right.
You won't feel anything. And it could be sound as what, how Rita would say it, oh, it's just pretty.
Yes, it's cute. And we don't like that term at Impact
Right.
either.
Wow.
The young people, oh, y'all guys look so cute. That was not the point.
No, that's not
Did you
it,
hear
yeah.
the message?
Yeah.
Did you feel the inspiration coming from the music? And, of course, coming from young people, sometimes they surprise me with the things that come out of their mouths,
yeah.
But it's about coming out of self, like, God Mommy said, and letting the Spirit take over.
And so she said, God, Mommy. God, Mommy, tell me, how did she sound when she was growing?
Well, when she was born, brought her home from the hospital.
Oh, we going way back. God, Mommy, baby.
Sat on the table and put a radio in front of her. And before she was walking, you know how some children just coo? She was cooing to music, honey. She sang so. And when we would have rehearsal, her mother and I, we sang in the same group. By the way, her mother was a famous singer. And we sang in a group together, and we still do. And she would get in rehearsal, she's about 4 years old, maybe a little younger, and tell each one of us the correct note to sing.
Wow.
She kept me, I'm the one that fall off the note because I carry the bottom out.
That's right.
And she could go down to that bottom, God, Mommy!
And they tell these stories, and I laugh. Some of them I remember, and some of them I don't.
Right,
but yeah, and everyone tells me the same story, so I know it's true.
Yeah, yeah. What was your first song you sung? Do you remember?
Yes, Jesus loves me.
Yay.
And then one of my favorite Bible verses, John 3:16. I just sang it as a song one day in church.
Really? How do you sing that? Could you just... I'm putting her on the spot because,
Go ahead,
you know what, I
baby.
asked, can anybody sing? I think I could. No, I can't sing. I always play around, but go ahead.
Anybody can sing.
But go ahead. Let me hear. Just briefly. John
3:16, for God so
sing
loved the
that.
world.
Oh, my gosh.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, shall not perish, but they shall have everlasting life.
See? Put her on a spot. Amazing, beautiful, beautiful voice. That was amazing. And so when these children come and say, well, I want to sing, and maybe they can't hold a note, what do you tell them?
Well, at Impact, you have to do everything. It's just not, you come to Impact to dance, for an example, but you have to learn to sing, you have to learn a monologue, you have to try everything. We have something at Impact called Safe Space. So if you get up and you sing and you crack, no one's going to laugh at you, no one's going to judge you. And we work with them. We have guest artists come in to teach the basics, and our assistant artistic director, Carlton Taylor, who was a graduate from various theater programs, works with the young people at Impact and outside of Impact, and we just train as much as we can. And a lot of young people who have come for one thing end up doing multiple things very well.
Right.
You know, and giving them that first experience of being in the studio and recording and things of that nature. You know, everyone can sing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how do you find the children, or how do they find you? Do you audition, or you just
Yes.
accept every application that applies? And how many slots do you have?
Oh, we accept.
Because we want to do it. No.
we really do accept everyone. We don't turn young people away. But once the work kicks in, some of the young people see if it's for them or if it's not for them, because it is hard work. You know, again, a lot of young people come in thinking it's just about the art, and it's not. It's very much so leadership training, because we are training the leaders of today, because young
You said
people...
artivism.
Yes, artivism.
Artivism, yes.
And so there it's open. We go into the schools, we hand out flyers, online, we just say we're having auditions, and the young people come to us. We work with another organization called Community Works, and they work with a lot of high school and junior high schools. So we get some of their students in, and we audition, and through the boot camp process, some stay, some leave. Wow. Because it is work. The director of our boot camp process, Luther Isler, he's also my god brother. He's very short, but he's very strict when it comes to...
When you said short,
No,
what do you
he's
mean?
very short. So when you look at him, you don't think that this Luther?
This little,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. But no, he gets them into shape in order to join the company.
That is great. That is great. And then sometimes what happens is that young people, if that is not what they want to do, they find their leadership within them.
Yes.
And they may even fall into roles of leadership.
Right. Yeah, a lot of and this is what Jamal loves to say, my young people now run the company. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're no longer the young people.
Beautiful.
So
Yeah.
he comes on a Saturday, and we go, we need you to do something. He goes, okay, time for me to teach a workshop. No, could you go pick up lunch? It's almost time for the young people to eat.
Right.
The workshops are taken care of, you know, and he's very proud of that. And that's what happens. We have graduates. Yvette Broderick, who came through the program in the 90s, is now in medical school. Wow. And her story is one of her losing her mom at a very young age to cancer, and still pushing forward in school. Impact always being there every step of the way. And to see her graduate and now in medical school is such a blessing, and those are the stories that I want to hear. It's not about whoever's going to be on whatever stage, whoever signs this contract. No, how many graduates do we have?
Yes.
You know, out of my class, Adia Beckford is now a physician's assistant. Stephanie Amo is now an engineer, graduates of Hampton University. You know, we want to make sure every person in Impact Jamal will ask the question, what college are you going to? Not what college you want to go to. Which college are you going to? Because you are going,
You're going
to college. That's what it's about.
That is amazing.
I like the name Impact because they are, well, you guys are impacting something onto them. You're being a light, you know, you're pulling out something in them that they didn't know they had. And, you know, honestly, everybody is a leader. They just don't know it.
Exactly.
You know, you don't need to be on television. You don't need to be on radio. You're a leader where you are.
In your community.
I mean, on the train, you are a leader. You're coming into an environment and you can change anyone's life. So it's amazing that you have the name Impact. And again, what does it stand for? Because I like the word. I like the acronym.
Impact, inspiration, motivation, preparation, activism,
Yes.
commitment, and teamwork. And with that, Impact, again, we performed at the Kodak Theater, but we perform at homeless shelters. We've performed at prisons, block parties, community centers, and you have to give the same show.
Right,
if it's
right.
10 people or 10,000 people, and that's, you know, what we try to instill into the young people. You have to you never know what someone is going through.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
whatever. We like to leave people in tears,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
making them feel better
Right.
about whatever the situation is and letting them know, you know, let it go. God is in control.
Yes.
Or whatever the spiritual, you know, whatever that is, you have to let it take over.
Wow.
It's never that bad.
Yeah,
That is
because you know
amazing.
what, that with art and being expressive and creative, it takes you out of maybe your circumstance and your situation. And then you're able to just go in and then express. And in your creativity, you're changing someone's life. And that's awesome. And you're doing it at the right age. Between 9 and 18, those are critical ages.
Yes.
They
yes.
really are, because you know what? It always goes back to the parents. It does, no matter what. It goes back to the parents. But some parents, they don't know. So because they don't know, it's good to have programs
Like that.
that do know,
Yes.
that can take that child and just, again, hone in on where they belong. You know, just bring it out in them. And they just change someone else's life, and someone else's life, and someone else's life. And that's what we're here to do.
Yes.
To live on purpose.
That's right.
And the purpose is whatever you're doing, you want to shape and change someone else's life. Because you know what? Everybody is going through a season.
That's right.
You know, no one on this earth is not experiencing something, you know? And it's amazing that you don't allow life to beat you back. And so with those children coming out, and they're like, you know what? My mom or my grandmother's circumstance can't be mine.
Exactly.
Isn't that awesome?
That is amazing.
And I know
That's
I keep saying God, but we take in all cultures, all religions. We make
that's
sure that they
God.
understand. Right. We make sure that they understand each other.
Right,
You know,
right.
so when the girls come in with their hijab and their wraps, and it is fine because it's part of the impact culture now.
Wow.
You
That's
know.
amazing.
Speaking of religion, where do you go on Sunday morning? I want you to tell them, and I want you to tell them about your pastor and his position.
Oh, of course.
Okay, but
We have
before
to-
you begin that, I just want everyone to know that this is 30 frames a second, and our phone lines are open, or we should be open, yes. And so you're welcome to call in and ask questions to Deitrice, which would be, I'm calling you Deitrice, I
Yes,
apologize.
it's okay.
And ask questions, or ask questions to any of us regarding whatever issues that are impacting you.
Yes.
In your life. But go ahead, tell us, Sheila, you said about her pastor.
Yes, but we have some calls on the line, don't we?
I don't see anything
Oh, I
yet.
thought we did. Okay, I was asking you to tell us the church that you go to, and tell us about your great pastor.
Yes. I go to the New Mount Zion Baptist Church. The pastor is the Reverend Dr. Carl L. Washington, who is Jr., who is now the moderator-elect for the Baptist Association. I actually been adopted by him as his goddaughter. Okay. I love my church. I'm there every Sunday. I'm actually there this evening because it's Churchwide Institute.
Wow.
So we're in revival. So that's where I will be going.
And then you're just a busy butterfly.
Well, yeah, if I can make myself available, and you know, it's been a journey, you know, growing up, but if I can make myself available for everything else, you have to make yourself available for church. Right. And my grandmother, may she rest in peace, but if I don't go to church, I hear her, even till this day. Candy, what are you doing? No, it is time to go to church. So yes, and I love the young people at my church. Some of the young people have come to Impact and through the program, and Impact does things at my church, but of course, and New Mount Zion and First Corinthian Baptist Church has the Harlem AIDS Walk, in which we walk and perform to raise money for awareness and for a cure. So Impact, of course, is a part of that as well.
That's amazing. But ultimately, what is your goal? What do you aspire to do? I mean, you're doing everything, but it comes to the point where when you realize, like, this is exactly what I want to do, and then it just seems like everything opens up. I mean, are you there?
I don't think I'm there yet. I believe that there is some more work to be done. Even training, I might want to go back to school if time permits, but God is opening doors, so I will be touring next year with both of my theater companies. So I think there's still work to be done.
Right.
But as long as, and even when I went to Italy, I still was able to run Impact. You know, the staff, making sure everything is okay with my kids, because that is one of the #1 things on my list, make sure that the program is still running. Again, you know, funding sometime can be short, so I need to make sure that the volunteers are there, or whoever's volunteering to cook lunch or bring lunch, whatever. That just has to be in order.
Right. How many children are in the program?
We have an active program of about 50 young people, but over 1,000 young people have come through the program since 1997.
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. And then talk about, I look at the schools today, and they're pulling music and arts from the programs. And so then here we have an Impact Repertory School that is a support system. Talk about, what are your thoughts on that? Should they be doing that?
No, not at all. Again, I went to a music high school. And it is very unfortunate because a lot of the young people come to me and they're upset because they don't have music classes anymore.
How do they do that? I don't get that.
Right, and then you complain about all the violence that's going on with the young people, but you're not giving them anything that interests them. You're just trying to educate them, which is perfectly fine. You know, all of us need to get an education, but you need they need an outlet. Whether it's acting, whether it's writing, anything, they need an outlet. You know, so all of this funding getting cut, again, Impact is struggling because of the funding getting cut as well, but because of the love that we have for the young people, we just keep pushing. The teachers can't do that. You know, that's their livelihood.
Exactly.
So it is very unfortunate at all the budget cuts and all the music programs. My high school no longer exists, and it's very unfortunate.
Let's see what we have here. I think we have a roll-in. Let's see.
And our credo is,
we are youth activists who view the creative arts and leadership training as a way to develop ourselves and change the world in a positive way. We believe that we must be the message that we bring through hard work, focus, discipline, unity, and the principles of SOS. Safe space, outstanding effort, and service to our family, friends, and community.
Tell us, what is that? Tell us what
that is Impact's credos that you just heard, and we are at a performance in Philadelphia at the Mumia rally. We are very political, and this is one of the performances. I think this was 2 years ago, and this is just the performance team.
Right. That is amazing. I just love it. I love it. They're wearing their shirts, and everybody is there involved. Look at the young girl.
Her name is Isabel, and this is actually her first time doing this monologue.
America made TV, but I saw one.
And the other young man that you hear, Kadeem, is now an Adultco Award nominee for his part that he played in the off-Broadway show Caesar.
I had Malcolm and Martin, but you shut them down. I tried to get a job and you said no. with the frown.
I went to crowded schools with teachers who were stressed. I tried to go to college, but you said that was reserved for the best.
I once declared the censor. You said the course was too high. So I went to the mountains to dream, and you let my dream die.
No present, no future, no hope I can call. Even a mouse turns vicious when its back's against the wall.
I started life with a smile, but now I don't know. Maybe you could tell me which way I should go.
Midnight basketball games in the park. How about a computer near my bed and a mentor with heart?
They say the goal of the struggle is the prize that's just right. I'm the promise of tomorrow. Am I not worth the fight?
I'm the village that will grow from the child. I am your future in just a short while.
They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Frankenstein made a monster.
What will you make me?
I love that. Who came up with that?
Frankenstein was actually written by Jad Joseph and his mom, Auntie Joyce Joseph. A long time ago. Jad is actually Jamal's youngest son. Yes, and we workshopped the material, and we were talking about how some people feel about young people and how sometimes adults don't know how to express themselves, and they end up hurting a young person's feelings. So that's how Frankenstein came about.
Wow, that was amazing. That was a great performance. And you said she performed for the first time.
Yes, that was the first time she did that monologue.
No fear. She was very controlled and strong.
I'm very proud of Miss Isabel.
Yes.
Who is now taking over in the company as one of the young. She is very political minded. Her grandmother Suzanne Ross also grew up in the movement. She's an attorney, and she speaks her mind very freely. She's not afraid. And again, when I say I am surprised at some of the things that come out of their mouths, we do check-in every Saturday morning. How was your week? What's going on in your world? And she always brings up something political.
Wow.
There's always something that she does not understand, and she needs to, impact her family, help her understand what can we do to fix this.
Right.
So she's one of our little political.
And that's a great thing. There was a time with our churches, especially black churches, where when there were problems in our community, people would go to the church
to meet.
Right, to listen to the preachers speak and tell us how do we gauge ourselves to go back out there and fight during the civil rights era. Today, it's not as much as we would like it. So when I'm listening to you say that, I say, wow, now they have some place to go to ask those questions. This is going on. Like right now, my big baby, she says to me, why is everybody going after Jay-Z? What did he do? They're upset because these young black children that are going into these stores, Barney's, and purchasing these high-end items like they usually do. Jordans cost about $250 and up. So the young man, he brought a belt for $350, and he was stopped by the police. Where did you get the money from?
Right.
How did you get, how dare you? Then we're finding out that this is a routine. This is happening all the time. So she asked me, why are they coming after him? Why is he responsible for this? These are questions that our young people need to ask, like this young woman that you said that comes in and she has something political to say. Impact to me sounds as though it's a resource for these young people to ask these questions.
Very much so. We actually, a while ago, our leadership training was based on the Nike production of sneakers. And for a while, all of my young people were mad. They stopped buying Nikes, stopped supporting the company, because we showed them what actually goes on, who actually makes the sneakers, how much of the money that you're spending on this is going towards the person who's actually creating it. And which is one of the reasons why our young people have their own sense of style. You don't need to go out and spend a whole lot of money to look good, and that's one thing that we try to instill with them. That's why everyone has a t-shirt. So everyone is on the same level. You don't have to come in rocking a $50 shirt and, your member your co-member doesn't have the money
That's why
to
I
buy
like
it.
uniform in school.
That's right.
Yeah, we're leveling that place.
That's right. I wore
I
uniform.
remember way back in my day that shoes like Nike and Pro Cats, they were sold at John. We had a store called, it's like the 99 cents a dollar deal, and they were sold at John bargain stores. It was a joke to wear Nikes or Pro Cats unless in case you were going to gym or you know, you were playing, you know, jump rope or whatever in the street. People wore Oxfords, you know, and bought a better quality of shoe. Now you go to the podiatrist, they're telling you to buy sneakers, and you're spending all of this mad money on low quality junk.
Marketing.
That's what it is.
And they will market sneakers, but they will not market good programming for the young woman to get her lights cut back on. That's why I'm talking about the media. It all ties in. It all ties in.
How is it working with the great Jamal Joseph? Because like you said, he was one of the original Panthers.
Yes.
Panther Baby was his book that
Yes.
he put out. How is it working with it? How has it impacted your life? Because you said he was your mentor at 15.
Yes.
Who found who? He found you or you found
Well,
him?
I'm a part of another organization called the Phoenix Sorority.
Listen, Busy Bee.
I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but she's a busy bee. Yeah. And everything was started at Minnesink. I'm a Minnesinker. My mother always made sure I was somewhere doing something. Like now when I'm not to go off the topic, but parents allowing TV to raise their children. It was just not allowed. You know, so I watched TV like once a week. I had a book, or I was at Minnesink or at church. That was it. Right. So, but all of these programs come out of Minnesink Townhouse, which I am still active with today. And so I met Jamal as I was pledging to the Phoenix Sorority. It's a rites of passage program for young ladies. Our brotherhood is the Order of the Feather Fraternity.
Because my son went there.
Okay.
Many years ago. They taught him. He went away to camp. He came back a little man. He said, "Mom, they call me Big Man." I said, "Really?" I mean, it changed his life. Minnesink was changed my son. He said, "They call me Big Man." He's a little stocky little boy, you know, so it changed him.
That's right.
Loved it.
I loved camp. I loved camp. I went away to camp too as a young person, and that's where I met Jamal. And the same year that I went through Phoenix, I also went through their honor society. Tapawingo Honor Society is the same year that Impact was founded. And at first, Impact was just going to be founded as an artistic outlet for the Phoenix and the Feather. But what happened was one evening, a young man got shot right around the corner from Jamal's house. And he lived in his building, and he can hear his mom's screams from outside. And he went out, you know, to comfort the mother. Everybody was outside. What's going on? How did he get shot? And he realized that he needed to open the program to all young people because they need something to do. They need a positive outlet. So that's how the program was then opened to every young person who wants to join. And that's how I met Jamal.
Wow. That is amazing.
Can you find out about Impact Repertory online? Is there a website or something?
Yes, you can go to impactreptheater.org. You see materials, testimonies from our alumni, and you can also look us up on YouTube. We have a lot of videos up there, a lot of performances, and
anyone can join.
Anyone can join.
Is it rolling admission, or is it terms or semesters?
Yeah, we have a fall and a spring boot camp.
Okay.
And
so it's twice a year?
Twice a year.
Okay.
And you can also find us on Facebook. And that's where we put up when we're having auditions and things of that nature. The director of admissions, Luther Isler, he's very good with that.
Yes.
And it's Impact on Facebook?
Impact Repertory Theater.